Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video we are updating on, I think this would have to probably be my favorite project pan at the moment, probably equal to my tea project pan, but this is my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. At the moment I am a high achiever. At the moment I am working on 8 shadows in this project. And again, this month we have pan on 1 shadow, so I'll be rolling 1 shadow out and 1 in. So if you want to know what that shadow is and all my progress on all my other shadows in February, then let's jump on into it. We have some mixed progress on these items over this past month. I think comparing this month to the previous month, I feel that I have shared the love around a little bit better than I did in January, but there's still some that are remaining in the project, and there's also some that don't have much progress on them, so that's fine. We'll get to the pan eventually. And here is a photo of the color story that I was working on in February. So very neutral, very like kind of a little bit boring, but that's all right. We still made some decent progress in February. We might start off with this one. This is my Chica y Chico One Shot Eye Palette. This is in Night Drink, and in the project I have the color Red Eye, which is this one up in the corner here. And as you can see in the close-up, I have a massive dip in this, and I'm sensing that throughout March I will most likely hit pan on this. When I compare the depth of the dip in this color Red Eye to the pan that I have in the shadow next to it, like the depth, it's looking very similar to each other. So I think I'm predicting that I will have pan on this shadow here in the next update. You can even see on camera there. How impressive does that dip look? Yeah, I'm predicting that I will have pan on that one by the next update, and I think this one will be a rollout well and truly by the next update. So very happy with that. I'm very proud of myself with that one. The next one is my Bare Minerals Wish palette. Oh, and I will say, so last update I had used it 5 times, and since then I've used it an additional 9 times, which is super duper. And then I have my Bare Minerals Wish palette, and I've only used this an additional 2 times since the last update. So there is like barely any progress on this one. Once I started to see the dip on that Chica y Chico palette, I was like, I'm determined now. So this little guy here kind of got forgotten about a little bit. And the Bare Minerals, the color Bubbles in this palette is quite similar to that one in the Chica y Chico palette. This one in here is probably a little bit more shimmery. It's got a little bit more sparkle to it compared to that one. Once I started to see the dip, I was like, I really want to try and hit pan on that one. And then once I finish that color, because it's so similar to this one, I will like try and, you know, put this one in the sights next when I want a color like that brownie shimmery color. Then I have my Suva Beauty Perspective, and I used this an additional 5 times this past month, and it is starting to get the slightest little dip in it. Nothing super noticeable, but when I look at it on the side like this, I am definitely seeing the start of a dip going on. So maybe potentially next month I might have a decent dip, and then maybe the month after that I might finally hit pan on it. So maybe my goal for March for the Perspective palette is to get a decent dip on it. One that you guys will actually be able to see in the update photos. That would be nice. That would be nice. When you guys see the progress, then I know I'm getting really close to hitting pan. That's the 3 palettes that are still the original palettes from my intro. And then from the last update, I rolled in the color Cube from the Subculture palette. And this is another one that's getting a pretty decent dip in it. And I think this might be another one that I might potentially hit pan on by the next update as well. So I'm crossing my fingers that in March we might have at least 2 rollouts from our palettes that we roulette, because that one, the dip in that one's getting quite substantial, and I know the pans in the ABH palettes aren't that deep. So I think that I will have pan on that one pretty soon. And what was I going to say? The shadows, the ABH shadows are super soft, and when I use this one, I use it as like an all over lid color, so I use a fair bit of it when I do wear it. And I have used this one 7 times over the past month. The last like roulette pan that I had is my Bobbi Brown Bone color. I've used this 9 times. There is a little bit of a dip on this one. This one is looking pretty gross because I have been using my finger to apply this one. So that's the only real way that I found that I could get this on my eyelids. I've been putting this one over the top of the Chica y Chico eyeshadow. So I would like swirl my finger in there, tap it over the top, and then go back in and tap it over the top. This one's a super stiff shadow, so the only way that I found that I could actually get it onto my eye was to rub quite aggressively on the pan to get it on my finger and then dab it on, and I would do that. I'd do that maybe like 3 or 4 times per eye to get to the sparkle level that I like. But this one is super densely packed. It is like super dense. When I like rub my finger in it, I can feel like how dense it is and like how stiff it is. And I think this one's gonna take me a very long time to hit pan on, especially if I'm using my fingers. I mean, maybe I might be surprised, because if I am rubbing as much as I do to get the effect that I like on my eyes, maybe I might hit pan quicker than I think I will. But the rate that it's going, and considering, like I said, when I feel it under my finger, it's not like a nice kind of soft texture. It is quite dense and like stiff. My last 3 ones are the 3 that I rolled in from my Makeup Geek palette. So these are the singles that I voluntarily rolled in last month. And out of all 3 of them, I actually have a pan on one of them. So this one here is the color Peach Smoothie. I have used this a total of 22 times. Then we have Creme Brulee. I have used this one 16 times. And lastly is Cocoa Bear, which I have used 15 times. So yeah, this one I was using Creme Brulee. I was using it as kind of like a crease shadow, and this one already had a pretty decent dip on it, so I think that's why I was able to hit pan quite easily. Peach Smoothie, I have started to see a bit of a dip on this one, so the way that I normally go with Makeup Geek shadows, I'm predicting this one will probably be another 2 months before I hit pan on it, which is fine, totally fine. I've been mixing this one with another shadow to set my eye primer. And then the Cocoa Bear, this one's gonna be a while. I only use a fairly small blending brush in this one, so there's not much of a dip. The dip is very small in the center of the pan there. This one's gonna be a long time, I think. Considering the other ones that I am managing to like hit pan on, they're lighter shades. I'm using them on more area, and they did already have like a bit of a dip in them, whereas Cocoa Bear was pretty flat when I rolled it in initially. So Cocoa Bear will probably be a good couple of months, and I think it might be a good couple of months before we even see a decent dip in it, which is totally fine because it's a nice everyday, normal, staple, like brown matte color. And then to replace my creme brulee eyeshadow, I'm actually rolling in another Makeup Geek shadow, and this is the color Frappe. So when I show these side by side, you can see that they are pretty similar in color. Very, very similar in color. So only one rollout this month, which is totally fine. I think next month we will probably see at least 2, maybe 3, depending on how I go on Peach Smoothie rollouts, which is super duper exciting, especially the ones in the roulette side of things. The single shadows I pick out myself, whereas the palettes are roulette. The palettes and any like single eyeshadow compacts are completely roulette, and I really like that aspect of this project. I find that really fun. I also really like being able to use my single eyeshadows as well. That's why I decided to roll in 3 single eyeshadows into this project as well. But it does make it a little bit more difficult to spread the love across the eyeshadows in this project, but that's fine. Here's a photo of the color story that we are working on in the month of March. I feel like I'm still making really good progress. If I could get like at least 1 pan each month, that would be stellar. Obviously more than that is an extra bonus. So if I could get at least 12 pans in this project in 2021, I think that's a very achievable goal. Anything higher than that is like super duper. And so far I'm at 3 pans, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so far I'm already ahead of the game, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Let me know down in the comments box how you're going on your eyeshadows if you are doing a Pan Those Eyeshadows project. While you're down there, make sure you click all those other buttons, like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can also join my membership and applaud this video. I hope that you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy and looking after yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.